Welcome race fans to NAGP Live TV GT1 Racing Thursday nights. I'm Jack Ivy and I'm along with Ken Hot Rodriguez. How you doing, Ken?
Thanks, Jack. We're doing well tonight. Happy to be here. Very excited. Looking forward to a wonderful Super Poel qualifying event here at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, it's quite a demanding track. Geez, I was out there earlier and boy, oh boy, some of these times these guys are throwing up here are pretty quick because it looks demanding out there.
Yeah, it certainly is. There's no lack of technical sections here at this track. Unique to this track, however, is the very long back straightaway between turns 11 and 12. That's got to be a lot of fun for these GT1, high-powered GT1 cars, eh?
Yeah, it's a handful, that's for sure. Looks like that whole combination of turns from turn 1 to turn 11. It's going to be very demanding, and if we get some high temps, it could play in on the tires as well.
It could. This is definitely one demanding circuit. Designed specifically for Formula One as well as other series in mind, it has a lot of long, high-speed sweeping turns from 1 all the way up to, what is that, 11? And then there's a very tight technical section after that from turns 12 all the way over to turn 20 actually, and then back down the front straight.
Yeah, some of those turns are very, very tight and hard to keep your momentum going through there, so it's going to be a real test for these drivers.
Yeah, it certainly is. I remember when this circuit first opened up, the Grand Am cars, the Grand Am series came to Circuit of the Americas, and even the Daytona prototypes were having one heck of a time getting that top speed down that back straight. You know, those Daytona prototypes, they're pretty fast cars, so it's going to be interesting to see what these GT1 cars could do and how some of these guys are going to be setting up their cars.
Yeah, and tonight, as you had said, you know, looking at setup, I guess tonight it's all going to be about qualifying setup, because they're going to go out, and our Super Poel qualifying format is 1 out lap, 1 hot lap, and that's it. That's what's going to set the grid for tonight.
Absolutely. So no pressure on the drivers, right? This we'll probably see a lot of these drivers putting in just enough fuel for 3 laps, perhaps 4, just to be on the safe side, but definitely empty tanks tonight as they go around the Circuit of the America track.
Well, I don't think so, Ken. I'm going to be watching. Some of these guys are going to be sniffing fumes by the time they end. Talk about sniffing fumes. That was my problem on Monday night. I just couldn't seem to get the fuel load calculated and ran out of fuel. But hopefully everybody will get their tanks topped up just where they need them. And boy, 30-minute races are always filled with action, so we're going to do our best to stay with it.
Well, the one advantage we have here tonight, Jack, is that this is a larger track than in previous seasons where we've had to announce a 30-minute race. So we should have the advantage, I think, in the announcer's booth tonight. Total length of the track here tonight is over 2 miles long. It's actually 3.4 miles, so 5.5 kilometers, total of 20 turns. And no surprise that Formula One holds the record with a 1:39 as the fastest lap. And here tonight we're seeing laps in the 1:58, so nearly 2 minutes.
Wow, 1:39. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's flying around this track. That is ridiculously flying around the track.
Now, some of the drivers were mentioning early pre-race banter that the off-track sections, being the curbing and the grass, is extremely slippery here, so I guess they're going to have to really keep the wheels on the black.
No surprise there. Grass always slippery on these GTR2 tracks, and I'd be interested to know if these red sections also are slippery at all. I've seen several guys go off into the red. and they seem to hold their composure okay, but they do lose a lot of time when doing that.
They are. I was out for a couple laps earlier. They are greasy as well. So not a lot of grip out there. Just sort of hold the car steady and hope you can keep it, you know, 4 wheels on the black, as I said, because every bit of off seems to be extremely treacherous.
Sure thing, no doubt. So this is our first run here for these GT1 cars.
Yes, it is. So no advantage to anybody here. Everybody's starting from square one.
Yeah, they certainly are.
And
but boy, I tell you, some of these guys are getting really accustomed to this track really quick.
And talking about no advantage, in the Drivers' Championship, Andre Prado has got 144 points, followed by Rich Roman with 135, and John Sportelli with 130. So we've got 3 drivers who are really looking to put these next 2 races, the qualifying race and the final race, together for a chance at the championship.
Wow, that is really close. That's incredible.
Now, back in the team championship, we've got Sorche Verde with Marco Conti and Andre Prado at 182, but PMR, Chris Moses and Big Al at 172, and H&C Racing, which is Rich Roman and Andre Scholl, at 168. So nothing really has been decided going into this last 2 rounds of GT1 action.
Yeah, interestingly enough, unlike GT2 where we saw Alex White Monday night clinch the Drivers' Championship, so this one's pretty open, eh?
Yeah, it's wide open, but you know, the White Lightning, Alex, he has only been able to join in for 4 races in GT1, but boy, oh boy, there is one guy that is very focused on taking every crown he possibly can.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
in Alex's 4 races in GT1, he has 4 top 5s and 1 win.
That's incredible.
And it looks like we're getting ready for our qualifying.
Yeah, we just jumped over to the qualifying session and just taking a look really quick. We have 104-degree track temperature and a 94 ambient. Wow. So things really got heated up here. These types of temperatures, definitely mediums on these cars. I don't think anybody's going to go out with softs and cook them on your outlap. There's the possibility with now not jumped up to 105, but there's a possibility with these types of temperatures going out with softs may not be the wise thing to do.
No, and well, these guys will try anything, so it's not going to surprise me. They like them to keep, their out lap at a decent pace, but these guys will maybe it for 1 lap and let her rip on the second, so let's see. And we're going out with David Rowley.
Yep, David Rowley. Not sure if he got any previous practice out on this track. I saw him join the server late, but doesn't mean that he wasn't on earlier in the Celine SR7.
Yeah, going out on his out lap and being the first one out, he will set the provisional pole. And don't know how long it'll last, but David has only had 3 races this season in GT1. He's got 1 top 5 and 1 top 10.
Not bad at all for David Rowley. He's the White Lightning's teammate on Monday nights.
Well, when he can make it. David
when he can wake up.
Well, yeah, one of our UK drivers. So good on you, David. Good to have you here. And like
Well,
you
I
said,
can tell you that he's got that gearing figured out.
big long straightaway going to be a bit of a compromise on a downforce package, or letting the car go really lean and let it fly down that big back straight?
Well, right now, here's where these guys have to make that very well-balanced compromise between speed and downforce. He's in the technical section right now. We saw him suffer a quick lurch there, a couple of corners back, and running low wing can't hurt you. This is where you want to make up most of your time, because the long straightaway accounts for maybe for maybe 20% of the track, whereas the rest of the track is all technical. So something definitely worth considering for these guys.
Well, the outlap's always precarious too. As you said, the temperatures are quite high. They're trying to take it easy on the first lap to keep the tires cool. But sometimes you just don't get the rhythm going as you're trying to drive it slow and baby it. You just got to get out there and give it.
Yeah, absolutely, Jack. So we're watching David rally now, and I'm actually on board with him, taking a listen to his throttle movements, and certainly giving him some challenges here today as he works his way through these corners, setting himself up for that long straightaway down the back part of this track.
Yep, and that corner is going to be a critical one to get the most speed coming off that corner as you possibly can to carry it all the way down the back straight. And smoking his motor is David.
Oh yeah, wow! I was actually on with the onboard camera and didn't notice that he is smoking.
He definitely has
Somebody
that rad
forgot to
closed
tighten
down.
up the oil cap.
Well, he's not too concerned about engine wear at this point.
Nope, nope. I mean, this is your one shot tonight to get it right, and a lot of these guys are going to be putting it all on the line. This is the penultimate race for season 21 GT1 at NAGP.
And coming up to his finish. Two minutes flat.
Yep, so David Rowley setting the early provisional pole.
And now out on track, Johnny McIntyre.
John McIntyre is driving the Nissan GT car, the G35. It's the GT version of the G35. Seems to be very well hooked up. He's got it going smooth through those corners. Let's see how he does.
Yeah, Johnny's been in all races this season. Good on John. He's got 1 top 5 and 3 top 10s. And he's picked himself up to DNF. So John having a decent season. Must like that Nissan.
I've had the opportunity to test that Nissan a bit earlier in the season, before the season actually started, and I gotta say, I like the way it feels. It's a well-balanced car, a little top-heavy. The center of gravity is a little higher than some of the other GT1 cars, but certainly well-balanced and can go through the corners when set up well. The transition, left to right transition, is fantastic on this car. Oh,
whoa!
Oh, he spins it,
and he parks it. Well, I don't know if I would have done that if I was John, because you just never know. Any time put in is a good time in Super Bowl. You don't know who is going to crash out.
Yeah, I can't help but think he may be thinking right now that he'll take his chances in the qualifying race.
Well, you know, rather than that, I think you always finish. You just never know what's going to happen out there.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I absolutely agree. There may be a bit of a lack of practice on John McIntyre's part also. I don't know if he was out on the server, out on track earlier this week getting some practice laps in and working on his setups. But now we're on board with Gup Douglas, the other Nissan G35.
Yeah, and
he makes his way on his outlap.
And Gup as well has been in all the races so far this season at GT1. His best start is 18th and his best finish is 12th, and he's carrying as well 3 DNFs this season.
Yeah, them DNFs can hurt you sometimes, but they do happen.
Well, yeah, and sometimes not all your own fault. I mean, anything can happen out there. That's why it's called racing. Coming up to the first sector split. And about 0.4 of a second off.
Yep, so he's heading now into the second sector, which is a little bit more open as they set themselves up for that long back straightaway as he's coming up to the hairpin now. So an opportunity for this Nissan, which does carry good top speed, to make up a little bit of time. Right on board right now with Gup Douglas. He's making his way down that long straightaway. Just shifts it over into 6th and actually gets up to 282 kilometers. Not bad.
No, oh, he has picked up a little bit of time there, and he's only about 0.2 of a second off now.
Yep, he's just got to hold it together now for this technical section. This is the hardest part of the track here, Jack. This is where a lot of these guys are going to make up or lose a lot of time. These turns are not as easy as these guys make it look.
Well, I found when I was out there that 16, 17, 18 was a lot of fun. That combination was a lot of fun to get some speed going around as he comes into the start-finish line. And Gup jumps into provisional pole.
Good on Gup. So Al Merriman now taking the track.
Big Al Merriman, the boss. He's been in 9 races so far this season, 2 top 5s and 6 top 10s with 1 DNF. One half of the PMR team, and boy, he is pushing that car hard.
He is sliding it around corners, and so looks like he may have set up that Ferrari F40 with a loose tail. No surprise there. Some of these guys like the drift feel going through some of the tight corners. They feel it may actually help them get through there faster.
Well, the way he's driving this, he almost looks like Chris Moses out there.
Yeah, making his way down the long back straightaway.
Coming up to his sector split here. And he's a little off the pace as well.
A little over half a second off the provision off of our current provisional pole time. Takes that one just a little bit wide.
Boy, all the drivers being very cautious out there on the curbing.
About 0.4 of a second off of the pole pace he finishes, but that moves him up into provisionally up into P3.
out on track, we've got Salem Montgomery Jr.
Yeah, and Salem was showing some really good speed early on in practice there, Jack. So, got to look for him to lay down a really hot one here. Maybe take provisional pole in the process.
Well, on the very first split, he's off by about half second, but Salem's been in 9 races this year. His best start is 6th, and his best finish is 12th. But he does have 6 DNFs.
Oh, that's high.
That is high, Salem. We've got to finish the race to be able to win.
Yep, absolutely.
Salem Montgomery, this year's winner of the best of the rest, or as some of the other fellows call it, the loser's race. We don't like to call it that here, though. And he's in possession of the Bent Valve Trophy.
The Bent Valve Trophy. He's about a little over a second up on the second sector now, as he makes his way through the final technical sections of this track.
Well, it doesn't surprise me because, as you said, he was putting in some pretty good times there. So 158, 159s, we should be seeing those coming around rather quickly.
Boy, I tell you who we may have to keep an eye on tonight, Jack, and that's Ryan Schleif. Yes, he was laying down the law earlier in practice as well.
Well, these guys have got to do it in the Super Bowl. There we go, a 158, 6-1-19 for Salem. Now, this is a character to watch. David Poel.
Yeah, David Poel, not the greatest season that we've seen him have. He has really been pushing hard this season with that Lamborghini, trying to piece together a season as best as he can, and unfortunately the cards have just not been in his favor to do so. But one of our very talented drivers here at NAGP.
Yes, David's been in 10 races so far, all the races this season so far. He's got 3 top 5s, 8 top 10s. His best start is 5th, and his best finish is 3rd. He holds 1 fastest lap, and he's got 1 DNF. So he has had a decent season, but he has been in a position to win a number of times this year.
Yep, he has, and again, you know, pushing hard. The competition this season has grown exponentially. Has put David Poel, as well as other drivers, in an area where, you know, they've had to find themselves pushing a little bit harder and trying to make up some time. But David Poel, again, it takes away no credit to his ability. David Poel, a fine driver and statesman here at NAGP.
Yeah, and a technical wizard. Boy, that guy knows the ins and outs of most of the cars. And let's see how he finishes this up, because he was putting down some serious times in practice.
Yes, he was, and he comes to the start-finish line right now, and he may, yes he does, take provisional pole.
Well, fairly decent time. I don't know if it'll hold up, but hey, time will tell.
Now on board with Sergio, he takes that first corner way wide.
Well, Sergio has been in every race we've had this year on Thursday night. His best start is 14th, his best finish is 11th, and he has 2 DNFs.
It has been my pleasure to watch Sergio Calderon make improvements with that Ferrari F40 this season. Just about every race that I've watched him, it's been an improvement over the last race from the previous week, and He's just done really well with that Ferrari F40, I think.
Well, for some of us, it takes a while to get a handle on the cars we have. Others, catch on rather quickly at the beginning of the season. But, for most of us, it takes a little while to get settled in and get comfortable with the car and get comfortable with the setups to find a suitable setup that matches your driving style. But, Sergio is plugged along, and he is there for all the races, and he's there right to the end for most of them.
That he is, Jack. That he is.
Well, Sergio seems to be using the curbing, and it doesn't seem to be as slippery for him as it seems to be for some of the other drivers.
I don't know. I saw somebody, one of his pit crew, walking around with a big giant bottle of some shoe goo and a paintbrush.
Tire softener? I thought we had banned that long ago. And Sergio coming up to the finish.
4 seconds off. So that'll put Sergio provisionally in P6 with a 2:02.3.
And on board now with Jonathan Cuppett.
Jonathan Cuppett driving the Dodge Viper V10 gas guzzler.
Yep, Jonathan's been out for every one of the races this season. His best start is 18th. His best finish is 16th. So he grabbed, and in fact, I think it was, last week or the week before?
Yep. And you know what? Drivers like Jonathan Cuppett, myself as well, I include myself in there, might benefit. Hopefully we get an opportunity this off season after next week to get some NAGP driving school time in.
Absolutely. I'm wondering if Brad is out there in the chat room, if school is going to be back in session in the off season, Brad?
Yeah, he's actually in the chat room and he's chatting it up. So,
yeah, and there you go.
Like he's,
well, guys, school is going to be conducted again, and hopefully, Brad, my travel time will let me partake because, boy, I need all the schooling I can get, to be perfectly honest with you. So just to let you other drivers know, Brad conducts our driving school. He is one of the most exceptional drivers and patient instructors I have ever been associated with. So if you need some help, keep watching for the postings and get on board with Brad, the instructor extraordinaire.
Cuppett crosses the line about 5 seconds shy of the pole time. That will put him in 7th. Now Dan Wilkerson driving the other Viper.
Dan Wilkerson, he has been in all 10 races with us. His best start is 17th. His best finish is 12th, and he's got 1 DNF. So, like his teammate, he has grabbed some points this season in GT1. I always liked that Viper. It seemed to be well planted on the ground. Just could never get quite a handle on it.
I've not had the opportunity to drive that Viper yet, but maybe during the off season I'll jump into just about every GT1 car that we do have and give them a whirl.
And Dan as well, looks like he's got his rad closed down a bit. He's dragging a little bit of smoke there, but again, this is only 2 laps, 1 out, 1 hot, so blow them up if you have to, guys.
boy, he got that car up to 287 kilometers per hour down that back straight. So he's been the fastest down the back straight so far. But again, this track here now in Sector 3, it's not about straight line speed. It's all about cornering. And this is where you want to make up your time.
Yeah, and he's quite a bit off the pace there as well. So that straightaway speed is not all that this track needs to become a master here.
Dan Wilkerson working that third sector as he goes wide and smoking heavily. Coming around the last corner.
Whoa, hold it in, hold her.
So Dan Wilkerson, provisionally in P7, just look at this, out-qualified his partner by 7 1/1000ths of a second.
Well, he almost didn't qualify there on that last corner.
On board with Matt Taylor driving the Pagani Huayra. It's a new car in our GT1 lineup this season.
And that car seems to be in the hands of a couple of speedy little characters, Ryan Schleif and Matt Taylor. Matt Taylor has been in 8 races this season. His best start is 16th. His best finish is 13th. But Matt has suffered from 4 DNFs, which is not helping his cause out there, but maybe driving a little over the limit. And he has got that rad closed down too.
Yeah, he certainly does, and he's actually smoking very early on in his hot lap, so I'm hoping that engine can make it.
Big plumes of smoke coming out there. Almost looks like a crop duster on the ground.
So tell me, Jack, during qualifying, why would these guys be closing their rads like this?
Well, you know, they're going to want to run that car at as close to max operating temperature as possible, but one click either way, I mean, can make a huge difference. But they're going to want to run around 200 degrees Fahrenheit, 210 max, and these guys just look like they're getting it closed down a little too much. And, you know, it creates a little bit more aerodynamic profile when you get the rad closed down, but I'm not so sure it's really going to help you in the end.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And Matt taking a couple of the corners real wide.
He finishes with a 204.1, and that puts him provisionally... I just had it on my screen here and it disappeared.
9th, maybe?
Yep, provisionally in 9th. Yep, there you go.
Out on...
Chuck Carter.
Yep, Chuck Carter. Now Chuck's out driving the Celine. What do you think about this car at this track?
Maybe an advantage here. The Celine is a very, I consider it to be a very high-powered, torquey car, but it is capable of some ridiculous top speeds as well. However, we've seen that with both tight and twisty as well as high-speed tracks, the Celine is notorious for scorching the rear tires. So it'd be interesting to watch this car during the feature race next week here at this track.
Yeah, 3 hours might be its downfall later in the stints, that's for sure. Chuck Carter has been in 7 of the races this year in the Thursday nights. His best start is 23rd. His best finish is 15th, and he has suffered from 3 DNFs. I love that combination of corners he just finished. That was a lot of fun when I was out tooling around for my Sunday afternoon snooze drive this evening.
Yeah.
Well, it seemed like I was snoozing at how fast these guys were going around.
He makes his way up to the last corner.
And a decent run.
Up to P7.
And guess who's on track?
2.9. Ah, my Monday night partner, Mr. Michael Greatrix, driving the Pagani Zonda R car.
I love this car.
Yeah, this car is definitely hooked. I like it. Don't like the way it looks too much, but man, it's a pleasure to drive. It's quick too.
Well, from the inside, the dashboards all look the same anyway there, Ken. Mikey's been in 7 races this season at on Thursday night. His best start is 13th. His best finish is 12th, and he has got 1 DNF. So Mikey's in for the long haul. He starts a race and finishes it.
Yeah, Mike has long said that he fares better in the GT1 category than he does in GT2. And he's proven that several weeks consistently as he's held his own in the GT1 ranks. Gotta give Mike Greatrix a huge thanks that because of him and some of the other guys here this season, GT2, I've on a personal level made much improvement within my own driving, consistency, and stuff like that. So, big shout out to Mike Greatrix.
Yep, Mikey lives in Little Britain in Ontario here, just a few kilometers away from Mosport Raceway. So Mikey coming around to finish out his hot lap here.
Boy, that last corner is something else, eh?
Yeah, there are some very, very tight corners here. And P10 for Mikey. Good on you, Mike.
P10 with a 203.25. So, our colorful driver, Mr. Marco Conti, interestingly enough, last night, Jack, I was watching a YouTube video from an Italian Formula One league that used to run R-Factor Formula One mods, and interestingly enough, Marco Conti was in the video that I was watching, and he was at the Monte Carlo Grand Prix in France, and he was holding down 5th for quite a while there. It was very interesting. The commentary was in Italian, so I was able to understand about maybe 80% of it because I speak fluent Spanish. But
Well,
it was just interesting to see him on that broadcast.
it doesn't surprise me. This guy has got more mods on his computer than Carter's has pills. It's just, he seems to be everywhere on the planet. He's originally from Italy. He's racing out of California, so one of our more colorful guys here. Quite the literary writer himself. I just love watching your posts, and we love you here. Zero DNFs in Thursday night, so great competitor here, and one of the better drivers we have in the rain as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and not only better in the rain, but very consistent throughout the races. Marco is one that rarely does not finish a race, so the fact that he has no DNFs is no surprise to me there, Jack.
Yeah, a big you know, support partner to have with Andre Prado and picking up points for that team all season long as he comes to the finish. Good enough for
Moves him up to
P6.
P6. Yeah, absolutely. Boy, he was smoking that engine.
Yeah, they all are. Maybe just a click too much on the rads. I've never really been given a definite answer, Ken, on, you know, if, other than engine wear, if too hot is actually a detriment or if too cold's actually a speed detriment. I've never really been given a definite answer, but in the real world, you're going to want to run it as close to the boiling point as possible.
Yeah, and I believe that has to do with the fuel-air mixture through the engine as well. So give them the optimal operating temperature for the engine to run as quickly as possible. So on board with John Houston, our sometimes fill-in Thursday night commentator and host of the GT1 series here at NAGP.
Yeah, and a big shout out to John. You know, can't say enough about filling in John on the broadcast and helping me out, helping both of us out, Ken, and helping out here, because it is quite the schedule that we have to keep to be here every Thursday night. But John has only been in 2 races, but shown his desire to get out here and run these GT1 cars. His best start is 20th, his best finish is 15th, so he basically, in 2 races, he's put a point up on the board.
Not bad at all. And yeah, John is a pleasure to have in the broadcast booth on Thursdays when you're out traveling, Jack. So big ups to John Houston, a fine gentleman, and a really good driver around here at NAGP as well.
Yes, somewhat the calm voice of reason in the broadcast booth, I would say, Ken.
Are you trying to say he sounds like Mr. Rogers when he's broadcasting?
Whoa, you said that, not me. And John comes through for a P7th.
We love you, John.
Hey, we get to say whatever we want up here. It's our show. And Sargasm's up on the chat board there. You're not here to hassle us. We just love having any viewer at all come up and watch the show. Geez, with a broadcast viewing audience in the millions now watching NAGP TV, it's a wonder they keep us around, Ken.
That indeed, Jack. That indeed. So we are on board now with Aaron Parsons as he makes his way through Sector 2 now. Is he working on the second sector or just about to?
Yes, he is in the second sector, and he'll be up shortly. Mr. Parsons in all 10 races. He's got 2 wins, 5 top 5s, 8 top 10s. He's got 2 poles. His best start is first. His best finish is a first, but he's had 2 DNFs. This is the wonder from down under, and boy, this guy is quite the competitor.
Absolutely. One of our resident computer gurus here at NAGP certainly has helped many of people out here with their computer issues, as well as helping them build computers, selecting some really good components. So he's very knowledgeable in computers, a great driver, and always willing to help. Aaron Parsons is certainly one of those gentlemanly-like statesmen around here, and a pleasure to be around.
Yeah, and you know, our hearts go out to you, Aaron. I mean, we lean on you for computer advice all the time, and you gladly take time out of your day to help us out with our selections and make sure we're on the right path. And I got a question for you when the race is over too, Aaron, so stick around.
There you go.
P3 for Mr. Parsons.
With a 159.5, not bad.
Well, Sargasm, don't worry. We're not being overpaid up here, that's for sure.
That I believe that's Mr. Schubeck.
Oh, really? All right. There you go. All these pseudonyms that everybody races under. I have a hard time keeping everybody who's who. But we're on board with Andre Cole.
And Andre Cole driving the Maserati MC12. Love this car. Love the way it looks, and I love the way it handles.
And it has got quite the sound to it, too.
That it does.
Andre Cole has been in all 10 races this season from 3 DNFs.
It's about 1.2 seconds over the pole qualifying time right now.
Well, Andre won half of H&C Racing. They're in the thick of it for the Drivers' Championship. Wow, and a P4 for Andre. Good drive, Andre.
Very good drive indeed for Andre Cole. So, for those of you that are with us tonight and wondering where the driver feature piece is, we are saving that for next week, because there is a Super Bowl qualifying tonight, and then there's the 30-minute race afterwards. So we want to make sure that when we do the driver feature piece, that we're giving the person their 15 minutes of fame and not rushing through it.
Oh, very good. Well, I'm going to pull a surprise out of my hat for next week too. So you're just going to have to sit on that one and think about that one, Ken, because I got a surprise for you next week.
Uh-oh.
So, out on track with Alex White.
Driving the big Ford GT, and he's smoking as well. So, wow. Gonna make his way down the long back straightaway.
Well, Alex is he has got a new job. Another one of our British drivers here. He's only been able to make 4 races. I'm glad he could get in tonight. He must have just told his boss, I'm leaving. In 4 races, he's got 1 win. 4 races in the top 5. His best start is second. His best is a win. And he actually holds one of the fastest laps. And he has completed all 4 races. This is the guy I call the White Lightning. Boy, oh boy, this guy is quick in anything he drives.
Yeah, that he is. And no slouch either when it comes to car setup. Has certainly, on several occasions, given me some really good pointers on getting my car set up for Monday night racing.
Perhaps he hasn't given me any pointers.
For that.
He hasn't given me any pointers. I got to talk to that guy.
We got to take him out back and beat him for you then.
Whoa, P3.
But P3 for Alex White, and he is our sometimes and temporary, sometimes fill-in for Thursday nights here with us when he's not racing.
Yeah, when he can't make the in time to jump into the race, he's kind enough to jump up into the broadcast booth and bring some real technical expertise in the booth with him when he does join us.
Yep, that he does. So on board with Chris Moses now, getting his hot lap going as he makes his way through the rhythm section now.
Yeah, and this next week's race is going to be very important to PMR as well, as they're in the hunt for the Drivers' Championship. Chris has been in all the races, and a big shout out to Chris. I got to thank you for your all the work that this guy puts in developing the car packs for us, setting up the races, being the marshal for the races. It's just unbelievable. He's been in all 10 races. He's got 4 top 5s, 7 top 10s. His best start is second. His best finish is second, and he has 2 DNFs. So Chris won the qualifying race on Monday night, and boy, maybe this is a sign of things to come. Maybe Chris is going to turn it on here and show everybody that he can come through and pull some more wins out.
Yeah, Chris Monday night was a man on a mission. He was certainly no holds barred with the way he was driving, and to boot that we were racing at Spa and it was a nighttime qualifier, which in and of itself is a huge challenge, especially for us older guys.
Well, it's definitely was challenging for myself, but it was still a lot of fun, and that's really what this league is all about. It's all about fun. So if you guys want to join us on Monday or Thursday night, we could really use some more drivers out on Thursday night. You know, grids of 25 are considered small here at NAGP, so if you're looking for big grids and lots of action, this is the place to be.
That it is, and not only that, NAGP is a place that provides near real race structure. There's a lot of structure in our league, as Moses now finishes with a P6.
Out on board with John Ludden.
But yeah, real quick, NAGP. You'll find that this community of folks is extraordinary.
John Ludden in the number 29 Corvette. Now, this is one driver that I can't say enough about this season. Relative newcomer to NAGP. He's been in all 10 races. He's got 3 top 5, 7 in the top 10. His best start is 4th. His best finish is 3rd. He's got 1 DNF. This guy has really shown that he can run up with the big boys.
That he can. He's an excellent qualifier, great racer, and we've said it several times before, as we expect that as John Ludden continues to gain experience here in NAGP, we're going to see a lot more out of him, a lot more top 10s, a lot more top 5s.
Yeah, you know, he was made it onto the pole, or made it onto the podium there with a 3rd place finish, so he's got the taste of being on the podium, so I look for more out of this this driver here as he takes that corner a little wide, but boy oh boy, this guy's been fun to watch.
Yeah, he's tasting the virtual champagne on the podium as he comes to the finish line now. Across his time here, good enough for a P6, 159.9.
Now out on board with Ryan Mayfield. What do we know about Ryan?
Well, we know that he's a newcomer here at NAGP. He's done about 2 weeks of racing with us in the GT2 category in our GT2 field. Ryan Mayfield, I believe this is his first GT1 race. He is teaming up with David Poel for tonight, driving the Lamborghini. And I'm not sure, so this is not fact, but if this is the same Ryan Mayfield that is a bit known, then this Ryan Mayfield would be the one that is known for remote control car racing. So again, this is not fact, it is just speculation at this time. I have not had the opportunity to speak with him, so just throwing that out there. Not sure if anybody else or somebody maybe in the broadcast, in the chat room may know about him.
Well, he's teamed up with a great technical advisor in David Poel, driving that what I call a circus Lambo.
the Circus Lambo.
And he's coming up to a sector time now. Well, let's see how he's doing. And boy, oh boy, he is not far off.
Yeah, just a little under 0.5 of a second off of the pace right now. So look for him to make up some time here in the third sector if he can. Around the last few corners, start finish line.
Really important to get a good drive off that final corner. And smoking that motor as well. P3 for Ryan. Good on you, Ryan.
Very good run. Very, very good run. And yeah, just looking up real quick, Jack. Track temperatures have jumped up to 105 degrees and the ambient now 91. So certainly hot around this track tonight.
Well, you never know at NAGP. We run a variable weather mod. We don't know what's going to happen during the race, and these half-hour races can be very fast and furious, so let's just hope this half-hour stays dry.
Yeah. So on board with Marty Uren, driving one of the McLaren F1 cars.
I love the look of these cars. I love the sound of them, but I just could never get a handle on driving these McLarens.
I always said that the McLaren F1 car is a very temperamental car.
So Marty has been in every race. I affectionately call him our senior statesman. No secret to anybody. One of our senior drivers out here, and Marty's been in every race. He's got 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s. His best start is second. His best finish is second, and he has 3 DNFs. So good on you. Good season, Marty.
Senior statesman. So what are you saying, Jack? Does he have one of those? Nah, never mind.
Well,
we'll keep that private.
you know, we really have to show respect, to, I don't even want to use that E word, but we have to show respect to these people. And I'm right behind Marty, so don't worry, Marty. It's you and me, brother. If Marty is the oldest driver we have here, I've got to be number 2, because I'm probably not far behind Marty. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, that puts me somewhere in the middle, I think.
And we've got all ages here racing. P7 for Marty.
Marty, yeah, 159.8 flat, so good on Marty. Andres Prado out on the track for GT.
Yep, the other half of Sorche Verde. I'm pretty sure that means Red Devil. I might be wrong, but that's what it seems like to me.
I believe that means green source.
Oh, is that right? Oh, there you go. So much for my linguistic skills. It's probably why I never finished school. So, Mr. Prado has been in 10 races this season. 3 wins, 6 top 5s, 8 in the top 10, 1 pole. His best start is first, his best finish is first, and he's got 1 DNF.
Yeah, absolutely. But Andres is one heck of a driver. Certainly very talented. Can drive just about anything he puts his hands to around here at NAGP. So certainly one that I love enjoying, and I enjoy watching. When we had some of our late newcomers to the GT2 ranks, aka Wyatt Good, Andres Prado started flexing some muscle, not wanting to let people get too far away from him. So good on Andres for the way he drives and who he represents around here at NAGP.
Yeah, when he was teamed up with Brad Maris last season, those guys were absolutely unbelievable, unstoppable, and no one had a chance of touching them. Boy, that was a dream team.
Yep. Yep, I remember clearly. Andre's going a little wide. Second to last corner as he comes around the final corner to take the checkered flag.
It's looking real good.
Just misses it with about 3/10. That'll put him in P2.
Out on track, John Sportelli.
Yeah, boy, here's another driver that I've got to say, like Salem Montgomery Jr., John Sportelli has made leaps and bounds in improvements. His driving skills have incrementally gone up several levels. He was fast last season with the Ferrari 550 Maranello, and he is fast this season with the McLaren F1.
Yeah, John's always a great competitor. Boy, he has always shown speed, but as you said, he has really sort of stepped it up this season. Could be his schedule's given him a little more practice time out on track, but he has been in every race this season on Thursday night. 6 top 5s, 9 in the top 10s. He's got 1 pole. His best start is first. His best finish is second. And he holds 2 fastest laps. But he also has 1 DNF. So, boy, this guy is a threat out on the track this season.
That he is as he comes to finish his second sector time right now. About 6/10 of a second over the pole time.
Well, you know, John's one of those guys where he'll be watching that time, so you look for him to push on the back half of this track. And as Brad posted up in the chat line, Sportelli is a former champion, so he knows what it takes to take it to the end. And this is looking decent as well.
Wow, P5 with a 159 flat.
Well, out on board with Ryan Schleif.
And here's another young driver that I mentioned earlier that we got to keep an eye on. He was laying down some really hot laps during practice, driving the number 5 Pagani Huayra. Ryan Schleif at one of our races earlier this season was leading during the first stint, and tire choices did him in for the second stint, but he showed some great bursts of speed in the latter half of this season, so certainly one that we're going to continue to keep our eye on here at NAGP.
Yeah, you know, with the way we've got this, you know, configured here at NAGP, I mean, there's a lot of elements to it. It's not just all about laying down one hot lap. You know, you've got your pit to get in and out of in a timely fashion. Tire selections with our changeable weather mod. I mean, there's a lot of variables in here that newcomers usually take a little bit to get settled in and get used to. So Ryan, he's been in 9 races this season, 2 top 10s. He's got 1 pole. His best start is first. His best finish is 8th, and he holds 1 fastest lap, and he's got 3 DNFs. So we are going to keep an eye on this guy. I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the next upcoming season.
I have to agree with you. Ryan Schleif showing some a little touch of genius in his driving lately, so we're going to be keeping an eye on him.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys, when they come, you know, into NAGP, The huge grids, I mean, let's face it, these are some of the biggest grids I've seen in sim racing anywhere. It can be intimidating.
That it can be, and he's looking good. Oh, just misses it by about a half a second. That will put Ryan Schleif up in P5.
And out on track, Rich Roman.
We're down to our last two drivers. Rich Roman out in the Maserati MC12. Taking
that in quite a few drives. Rich has been in all 10 races. He is leading in the competition index. He's got 2 wins, 7 top 5s, 9 top 10s, 2 poles. Best start is first, best finish is first, and he has 2 fastest laps and 0 DNFs. So there's no wonder he's at the top of the competition index. So another one of our speedy pilots around in NAGP GT1.
Yeah, Roman is fast.
Coming up to a second sector split. And he is off the pace in that second middle sector, so we know he's going to be watching that, so he is going to be pushing.
Yeah, and again, this third sector, probably the most technical part of the track. This is where these guys will either make it or break it. Got to keep it together, and remember that smooth is faster.
Yeah, and it is very technical, but you know, with some small elevation changes. Coming up.
P4 with a 158.68.
That does it.
And that is, yeah, that it does. It is the end of our Super Bowl qualifying here at NAGP. So, provisionally, well, right now we know that we have David Poel and Andres Preto who have secured, no matter what, their starting positions for next week's feature race here at Circuit of the Americas. Remainder of the field, Salem Montgomery Jr. for the 30-minute qualifying race will start third. Rich Roman in fourth. Ryan Mayfield in fifth.
Ryan Schleif is going to start in 6th, and Sportelli in 7. Alex White 8. Parsons 9. Andre Cole in 10.
Yep, and Marty Urin will start 11th. John Ludd in 12th. Chris Moses 13th. Gup Douglas in 14th, and David Raleigh in 15th.
Big Al Merriman in 16th. Marco Conti in 17th. We've looked like somebody dropped out of there. Houston in 17th. Sergio Calderon in 18th. Chuck Carter in 19th. And Dan Wilkerson in 20.
Yep, Jonathan Cuppett will start 21st. Mike Greatrix in 22nd. Matt Taylor in 23rd. And John McIntyre will start 25th. Christian Hamilton 26th. And not exactly sure why we are seeing Salem Montgomery Jr. with a DQ down at the bottom.
Well, that absolutely sucks. I don't know if they can get him posted back up into his proper slot time, but it might not happen. This has happened to Salem a couple of times when the sessions switch over. He gets disconnected. I don't know what the problem is, but that's going to be a heartbreaker for Salem to go from 3rd all the way down to 27th.
Yeah, and we just had Tiago Canola join us now in the Quali 2, so not sure exactly what happened to Tiago. He may have dropped off, but he's with us now.
Yeah, probably just as you said earlier, when you said there was 2 drivers left, Tiago must have dropped out. Another one of our very speedy drivers here is Tiago, joining us midway through the season again after taking a bit of time off, but I guess the lure and the excitement of NAGP has drawn him back in.
That indeed, but I gotta tell you, Jack, you know, this is one fine hobby that we are a part of. Not only is it a hobby, but it's a community in its own right, and it's similar to a living organism. You're dealing with so many diverse peoples from diverse backgrounds, and here at NAGP, just as an example, the dynamic atmosphere and the dynamic nature of our community within NAGP, it is so worthwhile. It is a motivator to get you involved. It's a motivator to give you back, to have you give back to the community. And as I always say, I hope to one day be able to give back to the community as much as I've been able to take away to my benefit. So I'm very and highly pleased that I chose to be a part of this hobby and a part of this community.
Well, you are giving back, Ken. Big thanks from myself and everybody else here at NGP for all the work you put in helping out with the broadcast. It's just been a pleasure to have you. But now I want to throw something back out at the community, and we're run here by donations, so all you guys that are running here in the league, I want you to dig in, scrape together a few bucks, and throw it in at the league. We run by strictly by donations, and everybody's been good so far. You don't pay to play. You don't have to pay if you can't, but we sure appreciate anything you can throw at us.
Yep, absolutely. It does cost money to run this league. We have server costs and other costs associated with this league, but you ask anyone who's been here any amount of time, and I've been here a short while, it is well worth it. And as Jack said, it doesn't have to be a huge amount. You can just go into your change bucket and find enough to be able to help us out a little bit here at NAGP. And all donations are sincerely appreciated by NAGP.
So we're getting set for our Super Bowl qualifying race. And you know, I am literally bleeding for Salem Montgomery right now. Boy, oh boy, to go from third to, back down to 27, that's just a killer.
Yeah, and again, I'm not exactly sure what happened there. They did take him out of DQ status, so not sure if we'll have a manually set grid tonight, which is a possibility before the race. We'll have to see.
Well, I know that is pretty tough on Chris Moses' part to do a manual grid set, but boy, oh boy, that was Salem's best effort of the season. And, after he won the best of the rest race, it sure looked like him and David Poel in GT2 were getting on it and working hard to improve his driving skills.
Yeah, that indeed. So some of our guys out there for warm-up right now. We have a little over 3.5 minutes left of some warm-up time. These guys are out there practicing their launches and their pit entrances, which is typical around here at NAGP, both in GT1 and GT2.
And we just got Gup Douglas practicing his spin-outs. I'm sure he's glad to get that one out of the way early.
Yep. Now, Gup, that cannot happen in the race.
Well, it can, but we sure don't want to have it happen in the race. So, we're all set. What do you think here tonight, Ken? Who's going to bring home the gold?
Well, I'll tell you what, just watching the guys in practice tonight and the Super Bowl qualifying, my favorite pick for tonight is going to be David Poel. He's got it coming to him. He went out there and laid down a blistering lap for Super Pole qualifying. He's starting on the pole, and I think he's going to take it from green to checkered.
Well, the one guy who's going to dispute that is Andre Prado, and I think Andre's going to give him a handful tonight. And of course, we're only in a half-hour race, so I think Andre is going to fight to come out on top. And boy, I'd sure like to see Mr. Poel take home a win, but I think Andre is going to be on his bumper if he doesn't grab him at the start.
No doubt he will. We know that Andre's extremely competitive, and like Gub Douglas, he was just practicing his spin outs. So, like you said, good to get that one out the way nice and early. But Andres Prado certainly gives anybody in front of him a run for their money, as Andres just loves to win.
Yeah, you know, I think it's going to be, you know, a dash for the cash tonight as Andre lines up. I think he's going to practice his start, and that might not be a bad thing for Mr. Poel to maybe practice.
Yeah, Andres Prado really good in the hole shot right off the line when the lights go green. So certainly got to keep an eye on Andres Prado. But again, given the opportunity, I believe that if David Poel gets that hole shot to the first turn and he can make it out there, I honestly think it may be a wrap. I think Poel is hungry this late in the season. So.
Well, there you go.
I'm going to stick with my boy Poel.
There you go. There's our two picks. Poel and Prado. I mean, we can't go too far wrong. They qualified 1 and 2. But I think we're going to have to keep our eye on Salem Montgomery, because he qualified 3rd, and if he starts at the back of the pack, there is going to be a lot of passing for that guy to do to move his car up, and he probably will have pace to be able to make a lot of passes.
Yep, absolutely. No doubt. Salem Montgomery, very quick in that McLaren F1. And like you said, if he does start from the back of the pack, there's no doubt that he'll be moving up quickly. And again, 30 minutes, dash for the cash tonight. So this is going to be a bit chaotic and a lot of mayhem, but in the good sense.
Yeah, it is going to be a great show tonight to watch. That's for sure. Got a lot of guys to keep our eyes on. We want to watch Ludden. We're going to watch Schleif. Of course, it's going to be, and Thiago Canola as well. He's starting at the back of the pack, but boy, oh boy, that guy could drive the wheels off a shopping cart as well.
Yeah, certainly he can. And as Jack had mentioned, halfway through the season, he rejoined us. I remember the first race that he joined us in was a bit slow, but man, he has come back full force and has been showing phenomenal speed.
Well, unfortunately, they are starting them as it left us off with Salem starting absolutely dead last.
Well, certainly no surprise there. He's going to have to work for his tonight, but Salem, we're rooting for you. We're pulling for you to make some great improvements. And again, our hearts go out to you, but do the best that you can and make it happen.
Yeah, so drivers out there, what do we got on track conditions there, Ken?
So right now for the race, we're starting out 96 dry and an 83 ambient. Conditions are sunny. Forecast is sunny. So for 30 minutes, looks like we're going to have a very, very good weather.
Well, that's exactly what I wanted to see. I want to see it fast and furious. And I think we're at a max 15 laps, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, maximum 15 laps.
Yep, maximum. Yep, absolutely.
Geez, you know, sorry guys, I never even checked out the penalties. I don't even know if there was penalties going on and who's carrying ballast. We're, well, spent the last 2 days at the cottage.
We do actually. From Road Atlanta, we had one first lap at fault contact, which was Mike Greatrix in turn 2. Timestamp submitted John Sportelli versus Marty Uren. There was no penalty for that. However, there was a second timestamp, Sergio Calderon versus Rich Roman, and Rich Roman got a 10-kilogram penalty.
Whoa, it looks like we got a reset.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna cycle through all of the drivers real quick, make sure that I have everybody. Yep, and it's looking good on my end.
Yeah, not sure what's happened there, but we got another minute to go until we get going again. Now, with the reset, did we change any track conditions, Ken?
No, interestingly, 96 track, 83 ambient, and conditions and forecast remain the same, so no changes.
Well, fast and furious it will be. Oddly enough, our pole sitter, David Poel, is still sitting in the garage.
Yeah, and as are several other drivers, and I'm not exactly sure why, but David Poel makes his way out onto the track. Alex White, Aaron Parsons, Marco Conti, Sergio Calderon still sitting at the pits, waiting, I guess, till the last second, but we're about ready to go.
15 laps.
It's race time.
And away they go. And Poel gets a great launch. Prado a little slow. Looks like Roman in behind him, but Prado is off and squeezed in the corner by Rich Roman. Contact between Mayfield and Prado, but they are starting to, and we've got some big action back farther. Whoa, big pile-ups.
Wow, yes. Tiago Canola, Mike Graytrix, John McIntyre, all involved in the schmozzle towards the back. John Ludd.
Wilkerson is missing. He's got a flat tire. The front end's ripped off his car. Whoa, what a hairy start. Looks like out in
Marco
front.
Conti has a flat tire.
David Poel out in front in a bit of a commanding lead with Andre Prado giving chase behind him.
Sportelli making a bold move up for the 4th spot, followed very closely by Ryan Mayfield in the circus-colored Lamborghini. Ryan Schleif, 6th, holding his own.
Marty Uran in 7th, Alex White in 8th, Chris Moses 9, and David Raleigh 10. Salem Montgomery up to P14. Went around Christian Hamilton with a beautiful pass.
Yep, I was just watching that, and boy, did he go around him fairly quickly.
So the action all the way through, Tiago is all over the place. And Ludden all the way back to P21. Along with Gup Douglas, who was missing half of the bodywork off his car. The hood's gone. Greatrix in the
Well, he
pits.
doesn't have to worry about the engine overheating.
Conti in the pits. Wilkerson looks like he is struggling to get around with flat tires into the pits. So back out in front, we have got David Poel, but on the outside goes, Andre Prado takes it wide, and Poel is able to hang on.
Yeah, that was just a little too wide to try and get the lead off of David Poel, but Prato all over takes a look on the inside as they come down the straightaway.
Whoa!
Oh, there's a little contact.
Yep, David Poel letting them know that you might have grabbed that spot, but I am still here with you. But Prado really putting the hammer down there and going for the lead. Sportelli and Mayfield duking it out.
Roman sitting in third, looking to capitalize a little bit on that possible small front aero damage that Poel may be suffering from.
Yeah, you know, if David Poel can get up and tangle it up with Prado, you know, the big winner might end up being, and Rich getting a little wide on that corner, but boy, oh boy, Sportelli couldn't put the hammer down and take that position away, but I think Sportelli is smelling blood at this point.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, Jack. John Sportelli, he is he's getting through this track in a quick hurry.
And right in behind Sportelli is Ryan Mayfield, and I think Ryan's saying, you and me, let's go together, because he is hanging on to the back end of Sportelli.
Yeah, that he is.
But boy,
So
oh boy,
we've got
what a great
two
picture.
Lamborghinis up at the top 5.
Yeah, what a picture we've got going on here. We have got cars in. Big Al in 11. Rally in 9th. Oh, looks like we've dropped some guys.
Looks like Tiago Canola and Andres Cole getting together in P18 and 19.
Boy, these half-hour races, they're exciting, but they are hard to keep a handle on all the action that is happening, because these guys are pressing so hard, so early on, and for the duration. Wow, talk about close racing here. We've got Prado and Poel is all over the bumper of Andre Prado. Looking on the inside.
Some pull off of Andres Prado.
Locking him up and takes the apex away from Prado. Prado had to give that one, give him room and let him take it. So Poel is taking over the lead again. And now Roman is saying, I'd like to do the same thing. Whoa. Poel going a little wide, and that allows Prado right up behind him again. But he is sure dragging Roman with him.
Yeah, action up front is fast and furious, to say the least. Quick rundown of the running order. Front to back, David Poel in first, Andres Prado second, Rich Roman third, Ryan Mayfield fourth, John Sportelli's in fifth.
Ryan Schleif in 6, Marty Uren in 7, Alex White in 8, Rally in 9th, and Chris Moses in 10th.
And Big Al Merriman he's in 11th. Taylor Montgomery still holding on to 12th. Christian Hamilton in 13th, John Houston 14th, Chuck Carter 15th.
John Ludden in 16th, up from 22nd. Cup in 17, Andre Cole in 18, Thiago Canola in 19.
Douglas in the pits, 20th. Dan Wilkerson, 21st. Mike Raytrix, 22nd. And Marco Conti, 23rd, rounds out your running order.
Well, these guys up at the front are going tooth and nail at it. Boy, oh boy, these top 5 drivers, they are so close. It's going to be hard to call this one. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, that it is. Oh, and Ryan Mayfield, if you look back there, he makes a dive to the inside.
And makes a stick. Oh, and a little farther back, we got Roman and Sportelli collected together, and Sportelli has got it turned around backwards, and he is dropping down like a stone in a pond.
Drops it back to P10 with Al Merriman right on his tail now. Rich Roman to 9th. Chris Moses up to 8th. David Rowley up to 7th. And Alex White gets the benefit, and he's up in 6th.
And he's all up against the back end of Marty Uren. Ryan Schleif, I think, was the big winner of all that. He's got a little bit of breathing room there. Is sitting in 4th. Ryan Mayfield now in 3rd. So we've got Circus Lambo in 3rd, Fort GT in 2nd, and Circus Lambo in 1st with David Poel as your pilot.
Yep, Prado getting a Lamborghini sandwich right now. Not sure if that's a comfortable position to be in.
You know, nothing better than a good Italian sub.
Boy, and just looking here, looks like Ryan Mayfield may have a little pace on Prado as he falls back from David Poel just a little bit, and Ryan Mayfield having to lock up the brakes trying to avoid getting into the back of Prado.
Yeah, this guy is, whoa, boy, close, close, close. I'm on board with Ryan, and boy, oh boy, he can, sure likes driving that thing close. Getting a bit of a tug down that straightaway. Well, it looks like 1, 2, 3 might be spacing themselves out a little bit. Although Mayfield is giving it a good fight here. Schleif back into 4th. Marty Uren in 5th.
Interestingly enough, the gap between Poel and Prado is only 0.7 of a second, so not a lot of room there.
No, there's not, but compared to the way they were running for the first few laps there, I mean, geez, they were, you know, they were a hair apart. So we've got Alex White gets turned around by David Rowley. Alex is dropped all the way back to P11, so he is not going to be happy about that. But Salem Montgomery, big story of the night. Qualified 3rd, started last, and is up to P10.
Yeah, good on Salem.
Whoa, Big Al Merriman is chasing his teammate around, and Chris Moses has got that thing loose. We saw that in qualifying that both those Ferraris were running really loose, so looks like they're both running Moses' setup tonight.
Very well could be, and we know that Chris Moses likes a loose-tailed car. Gets him around the track a lot faster, so no surprise there to see his car fishtailing a little bit.
So back up to P3. That Mayfield is not letting Prado get away. but it sure looks like David Poel has got, if he can just keep this thing smooth, it looks like he has got pace to take this one.
Yeah, and I think that the first couple of laps, it just took a little while for his tires to come in. That's my guess here, but looks like they came in mighty well because he is just hugging those corners as tight as ever and putting a little bit of distance between him and Prado as Prado fends off a hard-charging Ryan Mayfield.
Yeah, and that may work out to David's advantage as the two of these duke it out, or it might work into Andre's advantage. Andre may say, I'm going to have to just step it up just a tiny little bit to get this guy off my tail, but Mayfield having to look down on the inside and having to lock it up and couldn't quite pull the trigger on that one.
Nope, not quite, but Mayfield making one thing very clear here tonight. He wants a good starting position for next week's feature race. We're talking about 3 hours of racing and 3 hours of broadcast coverage.
Yeah, and I just moved back to P5. We got Marty Uren and Rich Roman, and Rich and Marty going at it, some side-by-side action out there on the track as Rich Roman looks for a way around Marty.
And a little further back, Salem Montgomery in P9 now, looking at the back of Al Merriman's car as I jump on board with Salem Montgomery. He's got Al Merriman in his sights, looking to better his position for next week's feature race.
And Rich Roman has got around Marty Uren, who has lost it on the last corner and has allowed Al Merriman and Chris Moses to go by. So Chris is now taken in P6 with teammate Al Merriman in P7.
Yep, and Salem Montgomery Jr. now right on Uren's tail.
Yep, teammates running 8 and 9, but you know, it may be when we saw that, you know, the lap times that Salem had, that he may have the speed to get by these guys.
Quite possibly. We still have a little time to go. They are working lap 7 right now. So we are nearly at the halfway point.
Alex White back in P10 with, the guy who took Alex out, David Rowley, right behind him in P11. So Rowley looking to have another run on Alex. Sportelli.
We didn't catch it, but I think he may have let him by.
Yes, you're probably absolutely correct. Sportelli is, after his little unfortunate spin, and looks like his car's suffering from a little damage there, in P12. Ludden in P13. Carter in 14. Tiago Canola up to 15.
And John Houston, 16th. Jonathan Cuppett in 17th. Andres Cole, 18th. Christian Hamilton, 19th. Dan Wilkerson holding down the 20th spot. And Marco Conti in 21. Mike Ratrix, 22. And Gup Douglas in 23rd.
Yeah, Matt Taylor, it looks like he's got it parked. Mr. Parsons has got his parked too. Surprised to see them out, but obviously got caught up in a bit of a schmozzle earlier in the race. We saw a number of them back into the pits on lap 1, so I'm sure Mr. Parsons got involved in some of that as well.
Ryan Mayfield getting by Andres Prado for P2 now.
Whoa, sorry we missed that, folks, but boy, oh boy, he is on a tear, isn't he?
That he is, as Andres Prado nearly gets it sideways going into that hairpin turn for the back straightaway. Don't overdrive the car, Andres. Don't overdrive it.
Well, if anyone can keep the pressure on these top two guys, it's going to be Andre. But these Circus Lambos sure seem to be suited for this track. Ryan Schleif in fourth, with Rich Roman in the Maserati chasing him down. And in 6-7, we've got Moses Merriman. So PMR in good shape here for this race.
Yeah, this is definitely going to help them out.
Yeah, they're in the...
Salem Montgomery up to P8.
Yeah, and that's a great run from Salem. Holy jumping, that's, you know, almost 20 spots he's picked up. And I would look for Salem to be pushing Big Al for that P7.
Yeah, Salem showing great pace here tonight.
Big Al taking a very defensive line. Salem having a look on the inside, but not quite enough. But Salem...
Big Al Merriman stepping it up a notch right now.
He sure is.
As you said, taking the defensive line.
Well, he is not going to give that position to him. Salem's going to have to earn it on probably on a bit of a bobble by Al.
And this mixing it up here with Al Merriman and Salem Montgomery Jr. has allowed Chris Moses to pull away slightly, very slightly. Oh, we just lost Marty Uren to a DNF. I guess he just parked it.
Well, sorry we didn't catch what happened on that one. A little farther back, we got Chuck Carter and John Houston battling for 14th.
John Ludden in the Corvette C5 holding down P11.
So back up front, we have got Circus Lambos, Poel, Mayfield, and boy, that Mayfield is keeping pace with the
They most certainly are starting to pull away a bit here, and again, P's 1 and 2 are locked down, so even if Mayfield does finish in the second spot, he would be starting third in next week's feature race.
Yes. So, Poel, Mayfield, Brado, Roman, and Schleif. Hey, good on Ryan. Running a good, clean, solid race there at P5 for Ryan Schleif.
Yeah, he's doing very well tonight. Chris Moses still in 6th, and Al Merriman right behind him. But Salem Montgomery has not let these two get anywhere away from him. Still trying to find his way around Al Merriman, and Al Merriman just making his car very wide around this place.
Yeah, and you know what? Not a bad place to be for Salem. I know he, had a bit of a heartbreak there in, some technical issues, ending up starting last. But to start a 3-hour final race in P7 is not a bad place to be. So don't overcook it there, Salem. You're in good shape. Keep the pressure on Big Al. If he misses a corner, you'll be able to take advantage, but don't push it.
Crossing the start-finish line as they work their way up the hill to turn one.
And again, Big Al taking the center of his track. So Al making that Ferrari as wide as an old Ford Woody wagon. And that's, you know, a skill in itself that Al's doing. I mean, he is definitely not blocking. He's not making any erratic moves, but he has taken the desired line away from Salem.
Yeah, that he is. And whoa, as Al has to lock him up to avoid hitting his teammate.
Whoa.
Oh, and Salem loses it.
Get on her, get on her.
Yep, he's got Sportelli right behind him, followed by Alex White and John Ludden.
Whoa, and behind him, Raleigh locked it up on that corner as well. So that just took the pressure off Big Al after Salem was pressing him, you know, fairly aggressively for the better part of this race. So hang in there, Salem. We've got Salem in 8th. Sportelli in 9th, and you know Sportelli now is smelling that position. And Alex White in 10. Cup it, or no, that's Ludden. Ludden in 11th. So Ludden has gathered himself back up and finds himself in the hunt for a top 10. And David Rowley in 12th. Tiago Canola up to 13th. Houston in 14th, who has gotten around Chuck Carter. Sorry we missed that. And Andre Cole in 16th. But boy, Andre's at the front end. And that's a good battle going on there. We've got Great Tricks in 21st. And back up front, it's still the Circus Lambos. 1-2.
Lamborghinis 1 and 2.
Now, if, you know what? You put 2 cars on a track and that's a race. So is there any team orders here, do you think?
Nah, probably not, considering that Ryan Mayfield is the newcomer to the series here at GT1. It may just be you know, hang behind the leader and get as best a starting position as he can for the feature race. Now, should he start 3rd in the feature race, I believe that at that point it is the let the best man win. It'll be the best man win the race. Whoever can hold their own for 3 hours, very long race.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's going to be interesting during the race as well, because I'm pretty sure these Lambos suck on fuel. And suck, I mean they just drink fuel like crazy.
Yeah, that they do. That they do. We're currently working lap 13, so we've got about 2 more laps to go. This one's almost in the books, Jack.
Just about. So Chris Moses in 6th, Big Al Merriman in 7th. Salem Montgomery is able to hang on to 8th so far, but just hang in there, Salem. You know, it's a good spot to be. I know you got Sportelli sniffing blood there, but I think you got pace there to keep Sportelli out of a passing position.
Yeah, Sportelli does have quite a bit of right front aero damage there, so that's probably slowing him up just a wee bit, whereas Salem Montgomery does not have the aero damage that Sportelli does. So don't think that Salem has too much to worry about there. Just keeping it on track, keeping it going forward.
Yeah, he looks like he's got quite a bit of a gap there. So You want to give us a rundown there?
Certainly will. So in P1, David Poel, Ryan Mayfield in second, Andres Prado in third, Rich Roman fourth, and Ryan Schleif in fifth.
We've got Chris Moses in sixth with a teammate Al Merriman. It looks like he is saying, I want by. Salem Montgomery in the eighth, John Sportelli in ninth, and John Ludden in 10th.
Alex White in 11th in the Ford GT, David Rowley 12th, Tiago Canola 13th, John Houston 14th, and Chuck Carter 15th.
Andre Cole in 16th, Jonathan Cuppett in 17th, Christian Hamilton in 18th, Mark O'Connie in 19th, and Mikey Graytrix in 20th.
Dan Wilkerson in 21st, and Gub Douglas will round out 22, your running order after 14 laps in the books.
And that 20, 21, and 22, they're all running pretty close together still for position. So, you know, that just goes to show you that from P1 all the way to the end of this race, to the last driver, they are still fighting for position. So back up in front with David Poel holding off Ryan Mayfield.
Yeah, and this one is just about done here, Jack. They're working lap 14. So one of the Vipers pulls over to let the leaders through.
Whoa, and Mayfield having a good look on the inside there. I think Ryan is saying this is the lap I'm going to have to try this, but this could be touchy for both of them. Mayfield on the inside, and boy, oh boy, did he open that up and close the door on David Poel, and David Poel coming back around again. Side-by-side action. Whoa!
Putting on a show for the viewers tonight.
Whoa, are they ever. And they have switched positions again. This is great racing, folks, as they come around to the finish, the last corner. I believe this is it.
And this should be it, I believe. That
Whoa.
is. And that's the race.
So, Poel, Mayfield. And Chris has got to fight off Salem Montgomery. As Salem Montgomery takes a look on the inside, and it looks like he is going to take that position from Chris Moses. Salem Montgomery and Chris Moses, a drag race to the finish. And we got a race in behind them too. So Salem Montgomery 7th, Chris Moses 8th, Sportelli in 9th, and Ludden just gets squeezed out for 10th on that one. David Rowley coming around to finish in 11th on the final corner as Tiago Canola takes it all over sideways. And a bit of a drag race there for 11th. So Tiago.
Yep. John Houston will, sorry.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I was just saying John Houston will finish 13th. Andres Cole will cross the line in 14th. Jonathan Cupp in 15th and Chuck Carter 16th. Oh wow, Christian Hamilton runs out of fuel, but Alex White will finish 18th with a DNF. Marco Conti coming to take the checkered in 19th, followed by Gup Douglas in 20th, Mike Graytrix in 21, and Dan Wilkerson in 22. Dan Wilkerson actually getting a push from Ryan Schleif, I believe.
We've got that on camera. He is getting a backwards push across the finish line.
Boy, oh boy.
Oh, and
never a dull moment here at NAGP.
Is that Schleif giving him a push?
Yeah, I believe it is Schleif.
And you know what? They're doing a great job. That's one of the best tow jobs I've seen at NAGP. Well, folks, there you go. So a lot of action here in 30 minutes, Ken. Your man took it home, but boy, oh boy, that was a unbelievable last lap.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, we want to send our congratulations out to David Poel for taking it from the word go, putting up a pole performance tonight, and taking home the victory.
Absolutely. So we are going to see a barn burner next week. So I'm looking forward to it, Ken. It's going to be a long evening. We've still got the camera on Wilkerson as he is coming across. It looks like he's going to finish the race backwards and spins it around. Good on you, Daniel. It's the best finish I've seen in years.
Yep, absolutely. So, what a great race tonight.
It sure was. Next Thursday, like I said, it's going to be a great race. Can't wait to see these drivers go at it again. Ryan Mayfield, great job, along with Andre Prado and David Poole. So until next week, this is NAGP GT1 Racing. I guess we'll
Yep.
catch up with you
And
next.
just a quick,
Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
just a quick reminder that next week we do start 1 hour earlier. The race start is at 8 p.m. So don't miss it, folks.
Thanks for the update. Plus, hey, come on and watch Ken and I race on Monday night.
Yep, come out for that. It's gonna be quite a show.
Okay, for all of us at NAGP TV, that's it for tonight.